Tonight we're here to celebrate people that are on both sides of a prison wall. Those inside who have come out, and those that are going in to make sure that those folks come out well. And as you're looking around your table and thinking about your family and neighbors, I think it's probably hard to find a person in here who doesn't have somebody that they know or love or know of that's been impacted by the justice system. I want you to keep one phrase in mind: but for the grace of God. Think about that, right? But for the grace of God. Okay, our next speaker is an incredible community partner who I get to see on a semi-regular basis because sometimes he's directing traffic at St. Margaret Mary. But he's actually the chief of police for the city of Winter Park. The chief has served with distinction since 2001. Rising through every division to lead with integrity and vision, inspired by a family legacy in law enforcement. He's a graduate of the FBI National Academy and holds a degree in psychology, no brain tricks. Chief Volkerson is deeply committed to community safety, officer wellness, and innovative, compassionate policing. He's a devoted husband to Tara and father, and he and his family are active parishioners at St. Margaret Mary Catholic. His leadership provides a life of service, faith, and dedication to building safer, stronger communities. Please welcome Chief Volkerson.
Good evening. First, I want to thank Carlos for asking me to be here tonight. He did not tell me I was speaking immediately after Dr. J until right before. So if he had, I wouldn't have come. But I will tell you, while Dr. J asked for $100,000, I ask you only to pay your parking tickets and your speeding tickets. My hope for tonight is that you truly come to see the value in this ministry, that you understand that your donations, your support of your time and your talent is needed. It is critical. Not only is it needed to support this ministry, but there is a tremendous need for this ministry to continue to grow. As Dr. J said, we need to scale this. Our need in this country is unending for prison ministry. And if you think our government is going to solve that problem, I also have a nice beachfront property to sell you. So tonight I'm going to tell you a story, and as I tell you the story, I want you to kind of step into someone else's shoes and envision that this is you and envision that this is your life. And I tell you this story as something that I've seen throughout my 25 years in law enforcement. This is Michael's story. You were born in Winter Park, right here in Florida, on the west side of our community. Your mother is a drug addict. You live in a house with your grandmother, your aunt, your cousins, and your mom. It's a 3-bedroom, 1-bathroom house, and there are 6 people living there. Your grandmother is the only one who works to support everyone living in this house. As you grow into a child, you rarely see your mother, and when you do, she is high on drugs or fighting with your grandmother. You suffer from food insecurities. There's often little to eat in the house, and there is even less adult supervision. You go to school, but you are not learning. School is just a place to get away from the traumas of being at home. As you age from childhood into your teen years, you stop going to school. Start hanging out with other kids in the neighborhood who are living similar experiences. Your mom comes back to the house and announces that she is pregnant with your sister. She stays until your sister is born, and then she starts to disappear again. Visits from your mom become less frequent, and you know you're on your own. Your grandmother is working and now raising your sister. You begin to look for ways to make money because as a teenager, you're tired of being hungry. You have no education or job skills, and you see older kids in the neighborhood making money, so you begin to sell drugs on the street corner. You also begin to break into cars at night, taking things that can be easily traded or sold. As you're committing these crimes, you begin to get arrested by the police. You go through juvenile justice process and you're in and out of juvenile detention and programming until you're 18. After 18 and into your 20s, your pattern of behavior continues, except now you're also using drugs. Helps dull the pain of the realities of your life. You sell drugs, you break into cars, not only to make money, but now to support your drug habit. You continue to get arrested, and now you start becoming incarcerated for violent crimes and gun charges. You spend time in and out of county jail, and at 25, you're sent to prison for the first time. You serve a 3-year sentence and are released at 28 years old. You go back to the neighborhood and try and stay clean, but find it hard for a convicted felon to get a job. The addiction comes back, and the easy way to make quick money by selling drugs becomes too much of a temptation. You have completely lost contact with your mother and haven't seen or heard from her in years. You again are arrested multiple times, going in and out of county jail. At 32 years old, you commit an armed robbery and discharge the firearm in the process. Thankfully, no one is hit. However, you are arrested and sentenced to 25 years in prison. While you're in prison, your grandmother passes away. Your aunt sells the house you grew up in and moves to Georgia. Your sister becomes an adult and has kids of her own. The world goes on as you sit in jail. Contact with your family completely dies off after the first 2 years. You have no contact with anyone on the outside. After 17 years of prison and no contact with anyone for the last 15 years, you're released back into society. You still have no education, you have no job skills, your family is gone except for your sister, you have no money, you have no home. You beg your sister for a place to stay, and she agrees. You move into her apartment in Orlando and find out that your sister also has addiction issues and is extremely violent. You're forced to move out to avoid being injured or having to injure your sister. You are now homeless. You return to Winter Park because that's where you grew up. You begin to sleep in parks and behind businesses. At 49, you have lost hope. You have nothing. You have no home, no job, no money, no food, no clothes, no family. And most important, you have no one who has loved you the way we all should be loved. I tell you this story as the life of someone that I have known in my job as a police officer for the last 25 years. Here we are today in Winter Park. He is 49, he is homeless, and in fact, 2 nights ago, he was sleeping in a park about 3 blocks away from here. I didn't know he was released from prison. I happened to encounter him at a 7-Eleven. As we began to talk, he told me about everything that had happened, including the violence with his sister and his need to become homeless to avoid that violence. I could absolutely see the defeat in his eyes. As police officers, we have limited resources. We often offer them to our homeless populations, but these are not the necessary stepping stones needed for our prison population. They're an after-effect resource, and they seldom offer necessary relationships and trust that is needed for successfully building a new life. This story is not just the story of Michael, this is the story of many. I have seen this throughout my career and in all stages. So how do we break this cycle? How do we give value and hope to those who have lived without compassion and love. John 3:16, which if you're a Gator fan, you should know this, is a very famous Bible verse because of Tim Tebow. The Bible verse says this: "For God so loved the world that he gave his one and only Son, that whomever believes in him shall not perish, but have eternal life." And that's a very, very powerful Bible verse. But if you continue reading John 3:19 through 3:21, that's what I want us to focus on. This is the verdict. Light has come into the world, but people love darkness instead of the light, because their deeds were evil. Everyone who does evil hates the light and will not come into the light for fear that their deeds will be exposed. But whoever lives by the truth comes into the light, so that it may be seen plainly that what they have done has been done in the sight of God. In reading these verses, there's a lot of truth. When we sin or do wrong, we often have shame and embarrassment. We are afraid to acknowledge our sins, and oftentimes even more afraid to ask for forgiveness. And this is especially true for those who do not know God. St. Peter Claver Prison Ministries works at the heart of this problem. They are bringing those that have lived in the darkness into the light. They are showing by living the truth that they will be in the light. When we live in the light, we can see our path. We can see the importance of the decisions we make. They are providing an opportunity for so many who have not known love and compassion to receive it for the first time in their lives. Can you imagine what a tremendous impact that would have on you? Finally, to have someone who cares, someone who introduces you to God, so that you know you have actually and will continue to be loved for the rest of your life. An organization who makes the steps of coming out of prison back into society seem manageable instead of overwhelming and defeating. An organization who offers the opportunity for a new life. And I assure you that the need for this ministry is unending. Tonight we have an opportunity to make our communities better, to make them better by reducing the number of those who released from prison from reoffending. This program has astonishing reduction rates, and if you think that doesn't have a huge impact on our community, I would ask you to carefully consider that. Less reoffenses means less crimes. Less crimes means safer communities. We have an opportunity to prevent homelessness by providing valuable resources for those released from prison to start their new life. Instead of sleeping in parks or behind businesses, freezing on cold nights, or sweating to death on our hot summer nights, they can start their new life with a secure place to live. We have an opportunity to prevent food insecurities by providing a path for a sustainable income and food. And most importantly, we have an opportunity to bring God into the lives of people who need it the most. People who have not been shown what it is like to live within the light. We have an opportunity to give those people like Michael a chance at a new life. The ability to know that you are directly serving those who Jesus asked us to serve. As Jesus took his last breath on earth, he was not surrounded by kings and queens or royalty. He was hung on the cross with a criminal on his left and a criminal on his right. And one of his last humanly acts was bringing one of those criminals into the light with him. As Carlos says, in this ministry, they're performing the corporal works of mercy. Feed the hungry, clothe the naked, shelter the homeless, visit the sick, visit the imprisoned. But they cannot do this alone. They need all of us to make this ministry carry on and inspire the light of Christ. I thank you once again for your time and your prayerful generosity.
So if you're going to see Dr. J to talk about promising people for your parking tickets, the chief will be here afterwards as well. Chief, that message is so inspiring, and the bedrock there, if you will, Jesus was a carpenter. We have to create a foundation to build on, and that foundation of love is why we're here, and that's why this ministry is so very, very important.